welcome back to another episode of the Separators. I think we're at episode 4, right? Geez, these things are going by quick. Four.
Yep.
4.
For number 4. I'm in a different location. I'm surprised you're not, because you were on a roll there. Three episodes every 3. You're in a different spot all 3 times, but
I was thinking about going outside. It's actually really nice out today. Coming at you from outside today. But it's also been stormy, so like you'll be rolling the dice on that one. So how are you been?
I've been pretty good. I gotta say, I don't feel too prepared for this episode.
Yeah,
because there's some weeks where you just want to upload and you just want to do work and you just want to get stuff done. And I feel like I was nonstop and it's paying off, but so
yeah.
There's being busy.
This one sort of snuck up on us. Like, I think I asked you last week, like, do you want to record this day? And then it was like, all of a sudden this date showed up. I'm like, oh crap, do we want to record today still or not? So
yeah, you got to do it.
Yep.
Keep it going.
So, I've been watching your vlogs, and you've been selling a lot of those baseball cards that you or football, all the sports cards that you bought.
Yep.
And I cannot get over how much people are spending on these things. I know you sent me one the other day. It was like somebody who spent $54 on Josh Allen, which is.
Allen steps up, jumps over the defenders to pick up the first. Now, how many quarterbacks have you ever seen hurdle anyone?
Go Bills. Yep. It's just crazy to me. It's like, it's just cardboard. Why didn't my baseball cards from the 80s get that valuable?
They were too overproduced. I donated literally 10,000 cards at one point in my life because they were just pretty much worthless. Everyone has them.
Yep.
It's how it
86 tops. I think everybody's got that.
Those are good ones, actually. It's 87, 88, and 89, 90 is when it really got bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 86 are pretty good.
That's the 86 is the one with the black top, I think, across the top, right? Yeah. That's the one I had the most of. I remember going to the store every day and buying those things. Maybe I'll try selling those.
Yeah, there's a couple good players in there, but
my kids keep buying Pokemon cards, and I keep going, because they keep wanting them.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Are they waiting in line to get the new blasters and stuff like people are doing?
I don't know. My
whatever it is.
My middle child, which is not a child, he's 23 years old, works at Walmart, and he's like at the front of the line for some of the stuff that comes out. And so he comes home.
Yep.
Stuff here and there every now and then. I have no idea what he's buying. So.
It's probably why he works there. No.
Probably, that getting a discount.
You never know.
Yeah. Cool. So our episode this week is on customer service. This is actually your idea, Derek. You wanted to talk about customer service, so I'm just going to sit back and let you handle all of the angry customers. How about that?
Well, that's funny though, because I worked in customer service on the phone mostly for the last 15 years, before I just took the leap here a few months ago to do this. And I started as a telemarketer raising money for police and firefighters and stuff, where people would be like, is this a recording? Am I on the radio? I don't know. And it's funny though, but I hear comments about my YouTube channel, say that some people, you can just listen to them talk about anything. Right. And I guess that's kind of what the kind of a gift I have, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked in, then I was a debt collector for a while. I used to love that job, pretending I was somebody else. What do you mean your mom's not there? The kids would answer, and I would get them on the phone every other time, and they'd be so shocked that they thought they knew me or something. It was a good time. Well, that wasn't too much customer service, but then I went into the healthcare customer service, people that called in about their health insurance, and I would always de-escalate callers. I was, after a year there, they were pushing me to become a supervisor. I declined that to work at home, be with my family more. So, it's just something that I've done a lot. And I feel like BrickLink and eBay, it's part of anything in life, really just being polite, more or less, and knowing how to handle a person that maybe is not happy with you. It's just things in life that you figure out as you go.
It's funny, while you're talking about those roles that you've done, I was reflecting on my real job that I have, which is my position is called a developer advocate, and basically I'm like the in between the engineering team within our company and the engineers that are building on our platforms outside of our company. And so like there is this like sort of customer service, even though they're not customers, they're like developer partners. Like there's this like fine balance of dealing with people and trying to help them out and get their problems solved. I can definitely relate. So
yeah.
So where do you want to start?
Well, here's the one thing that it kind of, what do you call it? Kind of piques my interest, or not interest, but I can't think of the term people say, but when people always complain that they feel like they're being scammed by somebody that's buying from them. In 5.5 years on BrickLink, I didn't sell very much the first 2 years, but I've never felt like I was being scammed. And I sell mostly smaller items. I don't sell big sets or anything, which can be a different game altogether. Because some people would be like, they had zero feedback and they're buying a $500 Lego set. What do I do? It's like, well, PayPal, and going into PayPal, how they're raising their fees that you mentioned in your blog.
Yeah.
They do have a point that they do protect the sellers. As far as I don't remember ever having to refund anyone except some international orders, which I understand after waiting 60 to 90 days, I would want a refund, but I don't ask for it. Usually the items come. That's their way of providing the customer service by, protecting sellers, but, at a cost. But yeah, there's protections for sellers more than there ever has been, I believe. But so don't ever take it as you're being scammed by a buyer. You can always ask them for pictures of stuff, but that, what are you talking? How much money are you talking about? Every situation is different,
I think you also need to protect yourself a little bit too, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think you need to be overly anal on, thinking that you're getting scammed, right? I see some sellers on forums and Discord and that are taking pictures of every order, right? Like every piece in their order, they're taking pictures of. Where are they storing these pictures, and how are they, how much time are they spending on that kind of stuff for?
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know, just audit your drawer when they come back and say, like, do you have the extra piece in your drawer or not? Like if you're really that worried about it. And
you can audit your drawer as you pull the order too.
Yeah. If you want to do that, I guess.
I mean, you see it on the screen. It says if you have any left, you can kind of. I mean, depends on if there's hundreds left. You're not going to audit that drawer, but if there's a couple, I don't understand.
Quickly validate that. But. Yeah, the pictures to me is like, well, how are you storing that? What you need a whole organizational system for just that, right? And but I think I've had a couple of issues, nothing major, nothing that like I'm worried about. I think I even said this on a recent blog once where somebody said they were missing pieces. And I actually had video of me actually pulling their order.
On your tour,
and I'm like, I actually counted 1, 2, 3. They got all 3 of those pieces. Right. I don't know where that went, but hey, I just sent them. I don't remember if I sent them more, if I refunded them. So, So that's another topic we could get into is, if you are shorting, accidentally shorting. I know you just talked about this on your last blog here about how you were short a couple of pieces. I mean, it happens, right? Like those lines.
Oh, definitely.
Your eyes can easily go up or down when you're like, you look at the part and then you look at the number you need to pull. I've done that so many times, and I go back and I look and I go, oh, this is where I screwed up. I went down and I read the wrong quantity. I mean, the question becomes, do you just refund the customer, or do you send them out, and it's going to cost you more money, right? Like it's you as the seller, right. It's going to cost you money because this 10-cent piece is going to cost you $3 and whatever to send out, right?
Definitely.
I think good customer service, you just take the cost of business cost of it and you send out the piece if you have it. If you don't have it,
Right.
then you apologize. You give them a refund of their piece, and in my mind, you give them a little bit of shipping back because they're going to have to go and buy it from somebody else, right? And so you give them a
Right.
little bit of shipping. That's good customer service, and that goes. I mean, if it's the whole order, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a loss.
depends on how big the order is. Like if they ordered 5
Right.
pieces and you missed one, like that's 20% of the order, right? Like you should be providing a little bit more shipping back. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, if I have the piece, I'll send it out. There's no question about it. I mean, in my mind, I don't want to spend, it's like you're losing $3 in the reality is, or two, whatever, minus the cost of the part, whatever that would be. But ultimately providing the service up front by making sure you could, after you pull every order, you go back and recount everything and you won't make a mistake, right? Mm-hmm. It's when you're pulling it and you're trying to get it done fast, you count the one time you put in there and that's it, you're done. But if you go back after every order and re-verify every single thing, my wife helps me from time to time and she does do that. So, yeah, because I'm just flying around all over the place and she's just doing a couple to help me out. And I see her just, making sure, and she'll double count on as she's getting the parts. So there is that option. You can do that if you're really concerned about not having to spend extra money. If it's happening to you a lot that you're missing parts, maybe do that. It's going to take more time, but I don't have time for it. I take the hit of reshipping if I have to, because just so much going on, which I hate. I don't like it. I don't like getting orders that are incomplete. I'm sure the people that when they get them, they don't like having to send a message. The worst
email message, subject message I get is regarding BrickLink order number whatever. I'm like, oh God, what did I do now?
Right.
Before I even open it, I'm like, my heart's in my throat going, oh, what did I do? What did I screw up? Which order is it? It's like, and then it's like something like, hey, I like your YouTube videos. I'm like, oh, you jerk.
Right.
You just scared the crap out of me. It's funny you talked about verifying orders because Great Brick Lab does that. They have he has employees that go around and pull the orders in a multi-order picking style, which is interesting, but yet not for me. They do that, and then somebody else takes all those orders and verifies that they have all of them, and then they pack them up separately and and ship them out. And I see that as good customer service because you have two people counting and not, but at the same time, I see that as like, that's a lot of extra time. Work. Yeah. It's like a lot of.
With that system of picking them all at once, it makes sense because you could easily make more mistakes doing it that way. So it's good that they do that. I mean, if they're picking 20 orders at one time, it's definitely a good idea to make sure it's right. And then at the second,
did you put it in the right drawer? Sure. Yeah. Did you put it in the right drawer where it's containing that order? And
that's a good idea.
They put everything in one container, and so then they also have the opportunity to bag it appropriately, that kind of thing too.
Right.
I went and visited Chris at the Bricks and a Dollar a couple of years ago, and he's got like 7, 8, 9 employees, to work a couple hours a day, help pulling orders and stuff. And the one thing he told me that stuck with me was when you have employees, be ready to have your error rate go up, which was like, you can't control everything at that point. So like, you just need to deal with it. Right. Like, so I either just, if I have the piece, I just shove it in an envelope and send it out. No big deal from my end, or if I don't have the piece, I just send them out the refund, which is like, he's right. Like when you give somebody else the control, of that order, that kind of thing, you don't have control of everything that happens. And so just, you're just going to have to refund or send out the missing piece and just move on. Right. Like, don't worry about it so much.
Definitely. Here's a couple tips just to kind of put it in perspective to be a successful store, I guess. Ship really fast. Just don't put it off. Never put off shipping over uploading parts. If you, shipping is the only thing that has a deadline in a day. The post office closes. You can upload parts at midnight if you want to, if you stay up that late. I just have simple terms in your store terms. Don't make it too complicated, to confuse people. And they'll come back and say, well, why is this? And then, well, it's in my store terms. Well, if they're,
nobody reads them.
Nobody reads them. And I know that's another whole topic, but still if you keep it simple, like 3 different paragraphs of things, it shouldn't be too hard. And then just always have a fast response when somebody asks you a question or says anything, definitely under 24 hours. If you see it and it needs to be addressed, and it's different for a full-time person like me now, especially after like 4:00 when I don't want to really come down here anymore. I will if I have to, if it's something that I can do within 30 seconds, like I'm missing this, you have it, and then I'll come check the drawer, boom, send a message, I got it. I'll go out tomorrow, head back upstairs. So those are just 3 things that really can help, just make it easy on everyone that you're selling to and yourself.
Yeah.
Keep those guidelines.
Yeah. I totally agree with all that. I know, like I said, right, like the regarding BrickLink order number, like it always puts, like I don't want to open it, and then like, oh, do I? It's like, how do I reply to these things? Just sort of say, I think, in my opinion, like just reply back quickly and say, hey, sorry about that. We'll look into it, and then go.
Even if you can't look into it right away, just say, I'll look into it tomorrow and let you know, just let them know right away. So they don't have to be thinking about it. One of those deals, it makes it easier.
Then go do what you need to do for your own peace of mind, right? Like, do you need to do an audit of that drawer? Like, figure out, do you want to figure out where you messed up? I think that's important, right? Like, figure out where you messed up, because like, don't do that again, right? Like, did you have too many of the same different parts in one drawer, or did you your eyes cross? And I actually when I'm pulling orders, I increase the zoom of the BrickLink order page so that like the edges go from one edge of the screen to the other, and it makes it easier to go across the rows, versus like if it's at the 1990s size of that page. It's really small, and your eyes can go up or down, especially when you're as old as I am. You'll get there, Derek. Don't worry, you got another 10 years.
You said your middle one's 23. My oldest is 13. So
my youngest is 17. So there you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. All right. I wanted to talk. We've been talking a lot about. In my mind, I see there's 2 different types of customer service. There's reactive, which is what we've been talking of, right? Like, how do you handle a customer complaint? And then there's like passive customer service, which is how do you provide customer service when they didn't even ask for it, right? Like, and here's some examples. So, if you order from me, right, Derek? If you order from me, you'll get a I don't know when you ordered from me. You'd get a customized email from me, right? Like I've taken a lot of time into crafting like an email message that is fun and I don't know, very personal to the person, but it's just yet still like form feed type of, like you just plug in different variables from the order and it spits out an email that's very fun and that kind of thing. When customers read it, they love it, right? And I usually every now and then, about once every couple of months, I'll get a customer that replies, "Oh God, I love your email." And then on the other end of the order is the confirmation that you've sent the order. And I also do another customized email there where, I give them a little bit of a fun thing there. I can pull this up in a second just to give you an example.
Okay.
But just something fun. But I think the key things are, hey, I shipped it on this date, and here's your tracking code if you have a tracking ID. Let me find one. So if you order from me, this is the email. Can you see this all right or no?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. I don't know if I can make it bigger because it's in a different program. But basically, it's like, thank you for your order. Person that ordered, I dropped that in. You rock. It was just another mundane day at our store when suddenly Hope, which is my wife, took a look at the computer and her eyes widened. Yeehaw, she cheered. We got an order from the person that ordered. Julie, who's my middle child, jumped up from her desk, almost spilled her Arnold Palmer iced tea, and ran across the warehouse to give Brandon, my oldest, a flying high five. We did it. We have an order from the person that ordered. The entire warehouse erupted in cheers. Everything is awesome because, you got to throw in the Lego in there. Layered from the speakers, Ralphie, my youngest, is a huge Lego movie fan, and everyone picked up their favorite airband instrument and started jamming away to the tune. The entire Ralph's Bricks and Minifigs team is thrilled you're a customer. Thank you so much for your support and for giving us a reason to cheer on another champion Lego builder. And as soon as we're done exchanging high fives, we'll send you tracking information so you can track your package. And then like the rest of it's just basically, the stuff you would normally get. But I thought this was cool. Now this, let me admit, this isn't something that I wrote on my own. I actually got this idea from, like, this is a fairly common thing. I think Citizen Bricks uses a similar sort of format. I actually got this from an olive oil company. I actually ordered some extra virgin olive oil, and I literally copied and pasted it, and then I made it, into like
customized.
Customize it.
I ordered from Mevitz Bricks in Texas there, and they do that. Something about they have animals working for them. I remember that one. That are picking the order and getting it ready.
All right. So in this one, let's see. Your order is shipped. Hello, person I shipped to. We've shipped your order. Apparently shouting the person I shipped to from our processing warehouse didn't catch your attention. We yelled really loud. So here's a friendly email instead. There were one people. And so one here is actually how many lots they ordered. So like it doesn't really work when they only order one item. But when they order many items, it's actually kind of cool.
That's cool.
So there were one people who placed an order ahead of you. It could have been a super long wait. However, we never heard the name person that ordered before, so we bumped you to first. Congratulations, your package is on the way. Person we shipped to, we hope you're excited as we are for you to get your package. Remember that we have an extensive collection of minifigures, parts, blah blah blah. And then the order number, their information, date shipped, what shipping method, and all their tracking information there. So.
Nice.
Yeah. I think it's when they read it, I think people really enjoy it, and
that's cool.
I don't know how many people read it. I know when I order and like I see like the big blob of text, that you would normally get, I'm like, nobody spent the time there.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. So I wonder how many people are actually doing that. What other kind of passive customer service things do you think we should be thinking about or working on?
Well, things I can tell you, but I don't actually do. Coupons are nice because there's that secret of bumping you up to the top of their wanted list. So
yeah,
that is something, and people do enjoy getting money off. I mean, that's why big stores have sales, because people think they're getting a deal if it's normally this, but you're getting it for this. It's just in your mind, you're getting a better deal, which makes the person feel the value of their order more. I believe that they're getting it, money off of it. I don't know. Just think of the entire experience as with selling, with somebody, on the other end when they get it. Don't put. You can reuse packing material, but I heard another BrickLink seller has a channel, said that they used to use paper, like just shredded paper for packing, and it got all over the stuff, and he got a bad feedback for it. Just learn from other people's mistakes, and it's just all the dust from the paper. You know what I mean? Can just think about what's going on.
Might as well just have a glitter bomb when you open up your package. And at that point,
and kind of what you were saying, like putting the name in that custom message. Anytime you're answering back to someone, I'll try to put my name in the final of it, make it more of a human element to it. Yeah, I don't know. There's just think ahead, I guess.
So here's some things that I think about in terms of like passive customer service. So obviously, spend some time customizing your order, your emails or your messages. There's like a whole section in your settings where you can customize your templates. So take a look at that. Try to understand like some of the variables that you can do. You can do a lot there with the variables that they give you. These variables are based on like the order and that kind of stuff. You don't have to go too far either, right? Like, and the format that BrickLink gives you is very much text based, so like you can't do a lot with it, but still there's some things you can do with it. For me, I like to give feedback once an order ships, and I think that's good customer service.
Okay.
I don't like sellers that are waiting to give feedback until I give them feedback. I just feel like that's petty. I know some sellers bulk all their feedback at once, like, oh, I think you do that, right?
Yep.
I don't, I've seen you giving me feedback before I even got my stuff back, so I don't think you're one of these sellers. But like the sellers that are waiting until you give the positive feedback, then they'll give the positive feedback. I just feel like that's they're probably one of those sellers too that are thinking, oh, I'm going to get scammed if I report that they were missing a piece or something. In my mind, your part of the transaction is done for that order once you ship it out. So just provide the feedback.
I'm actually the seller that I only provide feedback for those that actually do give me feedback. I do that.
Oh yeah. Oh, you do that.
I started it on eBay and it just carried over to BrickLink. That's just what I've always done. I think on the end of you're right. Maybe they're trying to scam you, so you're holding that feedback against them. But you can still have that option to give them bad feedback if you think that they're being they're not doing things right. To me, the finalizing of a transaction is when the customer is satisfied, and that's when I leave them the feedback. When I know they're satisfied, I do it usually every Friday, and sometimes Mondays or Tuesdays. I'll do it once or twice a week. Everyone that has positive feedback, I'll leave them feedback as well. That's my process. But I understand it'd be easier if I just left them when I shipped it, but I could forget. I do get messages sometimes, people saying, can you leave me feedback? I'm trying to open a store, which that's fine. I definitely would do it right away if they ask me. It's not like I won't. It's just my process. But yeah, I get it. It's just everyone has their process.
Now, do you think about what your feedback message is? Because I put a little bit of thought into it and like use a little bit of emojis and a little bit of so my feedback sort of stands out amongst the crowd of other text-based feedbacks. So that's what I try to do.
Yeah, I've never done it. I just use the same one for everyone. And sometimes I'll do a custom one if I know the person or it's something different. I will put something in there, but no.
Yeah, I think mine was heavily inspired by Ace of Bricks, and then I was like, yeah, I'll just put the little emoji in there, make it a little bit different.
One other thing that's passive that you're not required to put tracking in there, but if you're not putting tracking in there, you're just asking for questions and messages, and you can upload the tracking. It's an extra step, but that is definitely providing good customer service. So if you're not doing it, you definitely should.
I mean, US sellers, you can't ship anything lower than first class, so like you're getting tracking anyways. I know some other countries, like I think UK, can ship without tracking, so like that then it becomes an issue. But in the US, just add it. And like if you haven't added the column for adding tracking on the BrickLink order page, the one that shows you all of the orders, go into the display settings and figure out how to add that, because that's the easiest way to add tracking to an order. I wish they would add it to the actual order detail page. That would be amazing.
Right.
I also, you said something about giving coupons. I give a 5% coupon, and I say it right on my card as well. Like, when you provide feedback, I will give you a 5% off coupon. It's basically a reward to come back and give feedback for your order.
Yeah.
It works most of the time. Sometimes, like even on the coupons that I do give out, it's very low usage, but I feel like it's like a good incentive for people to come back and provide feedback, and they'll get a 5% coupon to come back to my store. And some people I can know instantly, like, oh, that 5% coupon was like, oh, yeah, I'll go see what else I can go buy, like, and they come back. So it's a good incentive, and it works a little bit. And I think it's worth the effort. I just I organize my on BrickLink. It's very easy. I just organize my order page, or the list of orders, and when I get feedback, I go over to the other side. I create the order, and then I file that order. And so, like, my order, like, I can see as soon as I get a double triangle, green triangle, I just deal with the coupon and go from there. Brick Owl, on the other hand, is much harder to try to keep track of, and so I have to look at the feedback or the coupons that I gave, and then the feedback that I've gotten, and know where, which ones are which, and then that one's a little bit harder to do. I wish that was a little easier to manage, but that's another way I try to provide customer service and that might be more marketing than customer service. It's just, hey, you've had a good experience. Great. Here's a reward for your order, and hopefully we can see it come back.
Yeah. It's always a good way to get people in. And that's off topic a little bit with coupons. If actually you get the question, how do I get orders? I'm not getting orders. Well, go back to the last 2 months of people that bought from your store, give them all a coupon. You will definitely get orders. When I first started, the first few months, after people were starting to order me like 20 orders a month, I went back and started sending coupons to them, and they'd reorder. So they probably remembered this store shipped fast, and the parts were quality. That's another thing with customer service. If at all costs, don't list bad items, or really accurately describe them. Do not list items that are chewed to nothing. I mean, there's no reason for that. I mean, you can buy a pile of them anywhere, if you really want a pile of damaged stuff. But just make sure you have quality. Your quality control is part of your customer service. Definitely.
Right. Part of the service that you're offering, pretty much.
Yep.
I think the last sort of passive bit of customer service that I provide is just writing my name on the card, right? Like, I have a thank you, and then I put the order number, and then I just write my name on the card as like a personal thank you of ordering from me. But I know if I had 30 orders a day like you do, I don't know if like that would be something I would be doing all the time. So we'll see.
I mean, I could just do them all at once, before you start pulling the orders, because I put my card on every order form. It's you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I could see myself doing that.
What about there's a couple other things that I have never done. I was curious if you've done anything with this. This might fall a little bit under marketing, but on you can become a fan of a store, right? Like, I can become a fan of your store. I click on the fan thing. I say I want to follow the store. I hit accept. As a seller, I can then message those fans. Have you ever done that?
I've done it one time, and I got like 2 messages back. I just it's like when I uploaded a bunch of hair. It's like the first time I really just did a bulk upload of that.
Hair pieces, not hair from your head.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hair piece.
Anyway. I mean, I didn't know if it was like bulk Lego or something. You had hair in it.
And then I got two messages back the next day or that night or something saying, "Oh, this is great. I'm looking for some stuff for some custom figs and stuff." I'm like, okay, I don't know why I've never done it again, but as I have quite a few that are following on that, so maybe I should try that option more. But I don't think I need to at times.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, I'm not quite sure when I would use it. Maybe if I wanted to have a sale, but then like everybody has sales, and it's like, I don't know.
They're getting a message, and they might go to your store and they might place an order. So it is something that might work.
Yeah, I wonder, as a buyer, would they find that annoying or not? Right? Like,
you're doing it a lot, probably like once or twice a month is not that much.
I've never received well, I don't follow a lot of stores either. So like, I don't know like how many people are actually, the ones that I follow aren't doing it. And yeah, so
Yeah.
interesting. What about accepting returns? Do you think you should accept returns?
I mean, the reality is you probably should. I've had one person, you know, it's not, they didn't really want to send it back. They wanted me to send more of the same item that was printed bad. That was a new item. But I've never actually, no, I did have one person, they bought like a $10 TIE fighter printed part to a set. And then they got it and they said, you know what? I found the one I was missing. Can I return this? And I said, sure, but you'd have to pay, you know, the 20%. You have to pay the shipping back, you know, to ship it back to me. And they had a BrickLink store. So I'm not sure why they wouldn't just put the one they just got for sale.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they were actively selling. So I did, you know, I guess I would in some situations, but it's, you know, if somebody orders 100 lots and say, I don't see there to be any reason they need to return it. You know what I mean? Once it's shipped, you know, I don't know if you really have to in this type of business. I mean, there's some businesses you do have to have returns, you know, clothing, definitely. But with Lego parts, I mean, you know, if I can understand that one situation where they found the piece and they didn't need it anymore, but it was going to end up costing them, you know, half the price of the part to get it back to me. Right.
Right.
So it didn't make sense, but if they wanted to, I was going to do that, you know.
I think it makes more sense in like a set, right? Like if a set isn't up to standard or isn't what it was expected, or was missing way too many pieces than what the seller said, and they wanted to return it, then I think that's an acceptable thing. Yeah. Who would pay the shipping in that? You're right. Like, would the buyers pay the shipping, or should the sellers pay the shipping? I think the sellers should pay the shipping if they want it back, right?
Right. Yeah, that's a tough one. And, you know, yeah, when I got those big mullet modulars and stuff, the person I bought it from said that they're all complete. They were built once, put right back in there, and every single set was missing at least 20 different parts.
Yeah. So and if you just sold it as is, you would have been.
Yeah. I'm like, there's no way I would ever take a used set that I buy from someone and just sell it on their word. Never do that. That is providing the service by taking the time to verify it. But like I said, I sold the 2 modulars and they went perfectly well, you know, no issues with them at all. So it's just one of those things that you got to take the time. If you're in this business, it is time consuming, even though you don't want to. I didn't want to. I almost didn't even want to buy those sets, but the profit I made on all those sets was great. So I'm very happy I did.
Have you sold all those? I know
everything is gone.
Oh wow!
I parted out 3 of them though.
Right. Yeah.
5. And I sold a ton of parts.
In the Sydney house, it looks like it was like being sold off piece by piece pretty good, because you got all the base plates out and all that, right?
Yep, those are all gone and everything is great. Yeah, it worked out very well. So
that one killed me. The Sydney Opera House, that you parted that one out. That one definitely killed me. I would have liked it, but I didn't want to pay for it. But.
Well, you saw my sales for this month, you know, a month of June, last month, whatever. I saw it in your video, how my thing was going up. Everyone else's was staying about the same.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Out those sets that definitely drove a ton of sales.
Yeah, it was awesome to see that. Like everybody's, even me, is like, you know, over the last 3 months. So what Derek's talking about is I do this thing in my store recap, if you haven't seen it, where I am tracking different stores, and I just go to the BrickLink page and I go to the top and take their number of orders, that total number of orders that they had, and I just track it in a spreadsheet. And so this past recap, I had enough data. I've been tracking it over the last few months where I can now like chart their trends of, you know, are they like getting more or less sales month over month. And Derek's store was the only one that was like it first month went slightly up, and then this month it went straight up. It was a great increase, where like Bricks on the Dollar is still way above you in number of orders, but then he's closed his store for the last week of the month, and he's, you know, like he dropped way down. Like he's got a really big decrease in sales this month, but you can't hold that against him because he's moving, right? So, but everybody else in that list that I'm tracking, just same number of orders month over month.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I think that when I think about it in your store, and you said this in your vlog, you were trying to be humble, which is kind of funny. Is like you're panning around your store and you're saying something like, I think I just built a great store, and then you caught yourself and you said you're being humble, and you're like, that's what you were like him and Han over it.
It is becoming a great store. I say that like it hasn't become one already. I'm just being, I don't know.
I'm like, no, dude, you've built an amazing thing in your basement, and like everybody wants that, right? Like they want to be able to quit their job and be able to support their family on a store in their basement. That to me is awesome.
Yeah.
Like Big B Bricks is another sort of seller that I look up to, and he's got like 1.5 million parts, and he does it all out of his basement on his own. That to me is amazing, right? And then there's other sellers that have warehouses and have employees. That's a whole different another level of envy, like that's above all that. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. Let's get back to customer service. Sending pictures. So do you get a lot of requests for pictures of a part, and how do you handle those things?
I get them from time to time, but I used to send them, when I had a lot more time to do it. That's over 2 years ago, probably, but I will just tell them, I'm not going to send you a picture. I'm sorry. I'm like, if you want information, see the feedback, but these are mostly pictures on new parts. Like
that's ridiculous.
Print line up on a face, and I have 10 of them. I'm like, can you take a picture of all of them and I can pick out the best one? I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. What I basically tell them, I'm like, if you want that type of service, you should buy directly from Lego. And if there's a problem with it, you can call them and they can get your replacement. That's not the best way to handle it, I don't think, but it's just, to me, I don't know. It just makes them like, okay, this person's not going to send me a picture. Maybe I'll look somewhere else. I don't know. They're like, well, it's a $3 part. I don't want to buy it if it's not what I'm looking for. Like, well, I don't know. So I personally do not send pictures if they ask.
You're saying you're not going to give us your phone number and we can't call you with problems on our orders?
No.
All right. I won't flash your phone number across the screen right now.
What I would like to see is BrickLink upgrading the photo system where you can actually easily upload. You don't have to resize things. That would be a big help. And maybe I would do it, on some things if it calls for it. But if it's an expensive used part, I will actually upload my own photo, because most of the time they're not in the best of shape, not perfect. You know what I mean? And if you're paying $10 for a part, take the time, upload that photo. It's $10 part, and if there's any question on the quality,
Yeah. How are you sending them their photos? So you mentioned BrickLink doesn't have an ability to upload photos. So you got to do it outside of BrickLink.
Right. Because when anyone sends you a BrickLink message, you get an email, so you can respond to them through that email. I would just attach a photo to that email through my popsblockshop@gmail.com email, and then that's it.
Yeah. I usually try to keep out everything. Here's another thing with customer service. You mentioned like replying directly to the email. I always try to keep everything within BrickLink messaging,
right?
Just for that. Yeah, just for that the historical reason. So like if I'm going to send them a picture, I'm going to upload it to my Google Drive and then share that with them that way. Just provide the link. I always wanted to do ImageGur, imgur.com. That was what Reddit was using for image uploads, but that's become a little bit suspect lately. So I've been going through Google Drive. So what else can we talk about with customer service? I think we've touched on mostly everything.
Right. I guess the final point, to make in this whole episode is like, if you're a BrickLink seller, do it for the good of BrickLink, not just for what suits you, because we're all in this together. People that come to BrickLink and have their first order being a bad order, their chances are they're never coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If the customer service just is like, under average, and the stuff isn't right, something's not right, just especially if it's a zero feedback, I would take that extra time in that order, do something, put it like a couple free pieces in there in a bag, say free extras, get them excited about BrickLink, think of that as a big picture. Me being a full-time seller, I do look at things a little different than a small store that maybe has 20, 30, 40 orders a month or less, so it's not always the same, experience for people. But yeah, just think of the big picture as for BrickLink in general, because it is growing. I can definitely see the platform is growing. I got today, it's Friday, July 2nd. I think 4 out of the 10 orders were zero feedback orders. And that happens pretty much every day. There's at least one zero feedback order I'm getting. So
yep.
Figure.
There was a store I ordered from recently. I found them because I think they're on Instagram as well, but I found them because I occasionally go looking at the sales forum on BrickLink to see who's doing sales, and they were doing their the store opening sale. And so I went and bought some stuff because they had some good prices. But I really loved how they, try to treat me as their first customer, because I was their first customer. And I'm talking about Hippie Bricks, right? And Hippie Bricks, they sent me like the Hippie minifigure.
Oh, wow.
Cool. I thought that was freaking amazing. They had, they used the little, the spiral on his torso there as the design on their business card. I mean, they really thought through everything of the customer experience of an order, and I thought that was really great. I don't know how many of these things he's got to give out, but like, like if you could give, if you could give that out to like all your big orders, I think that would be a really cool customer service.
Yeah,
or at least good branding. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you think? Do you think we cut that off right here?
Yeah, well, I did today. I was busy today. I don't know. I didn't tell you, but I went strawberry picking.
Oh, is that your strawberries?
Nope. Our chickens got all ours. So
no,
I'm gonna eat them.
Good old chickens. Well, thank you for your time. Let us know what your thoughts are on customer service in the comments. We love to hear that, and Derek loves reading all the comments afterwards. So
I'll try.
Yeah. So until next time, thanks, and we'll see you later.
See you later.